Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Aiken, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored by this generous gift, and also once again reminded that the Irish have not lost their ability to speak. That was a beautiful welcome, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask how many people here have relatives in the United States. Perhaps they could hold up their hand if they do. Well, I want to tell you they're doing well. I would like to introduce two or three Irishmen who came with me. One is the appointment with greeter at the White House, Dave Powers, who's got, I think, 7 first cousins here, and who's sitting in the front row. Perhaps he'd stand up, and all his cousins. He looks more Irish than they do, but you want to stand up and turn around so they can see you, Dave? And then I'd like to introduce to you the pastor at a church which I go to, who comes from Cork, Monsignor O'Mahoney. He's the pastor of a... He's the pastor of a poor, humble flock in Palm Beach, Florida, so... And then I'd like to have you meet, I don't think he comes from Cork, but his family, but nevertheless, he's our legislative assistant at the White House, who came over with us, Larry O'Brien. Perhaps he could stand up. Turn around. That's his cousin. That's his cousin from Cork who's sitting next to him. And also a congressman who represents about 85 members of the House of Representatives who are Irish, Congressman Boland from Massachusetts, who came with us. I don't want to give the impression that every member of this administration in Washington is Irish. It just seems that way. In any case, we're delighted to be here. Coming in, I met 4 rather angry Fitzgeralds, and they said they're tired of hearing about the Kennedys and New Ross, and what about the Fitzgerald? And I said that was because my grandfather who was mayor of Boston, John F. Fitzgerald, used to tell everybody he was from Limerick and Donegal and Galway or wherever it might have helped. I want to have another Irishman, Jim Rowley. Come out here, Jim. He is head of the United States Secret Service, and he's those members of the Secret Service who aren't Irish are embarrassed about it, but we'll make them honorary freemen today, too, Mayor, if that's all right. I want to bring you today greetings from the people of Galway, New York, Dublin, New Hampshire, the people of Killarney, West Virginia, Kilkenny, Minnesota, the people of Limerick, Maine, and the people of Shamrock, Texas. All those... Most countries send out oil or iron, steel or gold, or some other crop, but Ireland has had only one export, and that's been people. They've gone all over the United States, and the United States has been generous to them. And I think it not unfair to say that they've been generous themselves and with their sons and daughters to the United States. What pleases me most about coming here is not only this connection which all of us in America feel with Ireland, even though time and generations may have separated us from this island, but also because I find here in Ireland those qualities which I associate with the best not only of my own country, but of all that we're trying to do and all that we're trying to be. The world is a small place today, and it seems to me, important that we recognize the kinship which exists between all free people. We are in a most climactic period in the most difficult and dangerous struggle in the history of the world, in the most difficult and dangerous weapons which have ever been devised, which could annihilate the human race in a few hours. So I think it is important that those of us who happen to be Irish descent and come to Ireland recognize an even stronger bond which exists between Ireland and the United States, between Europe and the United States, between Latin America and the United States, between people of Africa and people of Asia, between all people who wish to be free. That is the most important association, the most important kinship. And I come to this island, which has been identified with that effort for 1,000 years, which was the first country in the 20th century to lead what is the most powerful tide of the 20th century, the desire for national independence, the desire to be free. And I come here in 1963 and find that strong tide still beats, still runs. And I drive from where we arrived to here and am greeted by an honor guard on the way down, and nearly half of whom wear the blue ribbon, which indicates service in the Congo. So Ireland is still old Ireland, but it's found a new mission in the 1960s, and that is to lead the free world, to join with other countries of the free world, to do in the 60s what Ireland did in the early part of this century, and indeed has done for the last 800 years, and that is associate intimately with independence and freedom. So I must say, Mr. Mayor, that when I'm retired from public life, that I will take the greatest pride and satisfaction in not only having been president of my own country, but a free man of this city. Thank you.